Hello, welcome back to another episode of Two Dudes Drinking Beer. I am Josh.
I am Alec.
I don't have a fun fact prepared.
You fucked it.
Well, I spent time watching your video. You distracted me. I'm going to blame it on you.
Fair enough.
Because I do no wrong.
Fair enough. What are you drinking today?
You picked it. You tell
Samuel Adams. Because I didn't feel like doing anything special or new today. My coaster's gone.
What did you do with it?
I didn't do anything with it. It just ran away. It grew legs and fucked off, bro. Kobe. Not so much Kobe.
I'm shooting like the Suns they did last night.
Are the Suns? What's up with them?
They lost.
They lost the series?
Yeah.
They
won the first two games, and then the Bucks came back and won 4 in a row. So, you know.
Fuck.
You'll get them next time.
Well, here's to almost having it. The Phoenix Suns. Land of the free, home of the brave.
And I mean, it's Milwaukee's first title in 50 years, so...
What would it have been for the Suns? It's honestly just nice to drink regular beer.
I would assume back when Stoudemire was on the team, I think.
Oh, Stoudemire. I don't remember
then.
that. Stoudemire. Stotomyer. Stoudemire. Damn. They didn't even lose by a lot. It was
this last game was close.
It was a pretty close game.
93. Ooh, never mind.
Damn. Well, there you go. I mean, are you fucking
Oh, they've never won a championship
found it?
on the ground. No, the
Suns or the Bucks?
They've never won the Suns.
Damn.
It says 1993, but this says 0.
That's got to be the worst feeling, bro. Going into a series, winning two, and they like murdered them. I saw the first two games. The Suns were playing phenomenally. The Bucks were playing like dog shit. To have that switch up on you like that, that's got to feel like your heart being ripped out. I mean, it's like leading the Super Bowl the first 3 quarters and losing in the fourth.
Like the Falcons.
Like, yeah, like a lot of Super Bowls. I can't imagine how much that hurts.
Today's 2DBFF4TD, the fun fact of the day, being known as butthole.
The butthole.
Is that Coca-Cola once bought all website URLs that can be read as all the way up to 62 H's.
Why? It probably only cost them like $62.
I don't make the rules.
I remember one time thinking that, like, if I had a company, I'd, like, let's just say my company was Samuel Adams, I'd go through and I'd buy every misspelling of Samuel Adams as a website. That way, if they tried to log on to the website, they'd come to the website.
Like the time we Googled Papa John's as Papa John's, and we got it all in Spanish.
Yep. Racist. No, exactly what I was going for, too. Because also, like, you ever been on, like, Pornhub or something and you type in it wrong and it's just like free local sex and you're like, oh, I mean, like, not the porn site I was looking for, but like it's in the ballpark. Stuff like that. Like if Pornhub bought all the renditions and misspellings and typos of Pornhub, there's a lot of them, but you'd always end up on Pornhub.
Well, the key is to not type in the website itself and just type it into Google, and then just Google always knows what you're trying to get.
Yeah, that's true.
Or just have it bookmarked.
What's up, Wasabi? And is it because you just want to feel anything at all?
I'd love to just
You
feel
have
something.
Pornhub bookmarked? You got your porn sites?
I don't use Pornhub.
You have your porn sites bookmarked?
It's in, so like whenever I open up a new tab on my phone,
Yeah.
it shows you frequently visited.
Yeah, you just click on that.
Yeah.
That's not bad. It was weird. I remember being at that age where it was like, at any point my dad could be like, let me see your phone. So I always like had to delete my internet history and messages
I'm
and
an
phone
adult
calls.
now, so.
I'm an adult now, and there's just like
No shame.
so much porn on my phone. And if someone went through it, I'd be like, well, what do you expect? Like, going through my phone. What was better about the old Pornhub?
Before they deleted all the videos.
There was no conversation about painkillers. That's just what Wasabi decided to say.
That was his intro.
That was how he introduced himself to the class.
But back when they did The Purge.
The movie?
No. Of porn. When they cleared all those videos.
All the videos you didn't know you liked until you realized you liked them.
You don't know what you got until it's gone.
Facts, man.
Pave paradise and put up a parking lot.
I listened to that song recently and I just vibed with it. Like, it's kind of so true. Wait, what are you looking up?
Don't worry about it. It's one of my things that I want to show you. I just
okay.
need to find it.
I've only got one thing written down. Let's get it out of the way.
Let's eat it.
I remember you were talking about working at Target.
Still do? Yep.
Well, when you were during the very front of the pandemic, and people would come in and you had all the clothing stuff roped off.
Yeah.
And some girl was yelling at one. Jesus, I'm burpy. One girl was yelling at one point. Do you mind?
Sorry.
One girl was yelling at someone, I guess, because she was saying like, "Oh, shopping for clothes is totally essential business."
Right.
And I remember being like, probably not. And that was like a month or 2 months, 3 months maybe into it. And I just wanted to say in hindsight, after about a year, I could understand how it is a necessity or a essential business. But we were planning to only be done for about a month, maybe 2 of everything. And it's almost been 2 years now, so.
Yeah, we weren't, I mean, nobody was planning to be
Yeah.
locked down forever. So.
Yeah. It was like a month maybe. Or a few months, but that's all I wanted to say. Is not that I retract my statement, but it's like one of those like on a long enough timeline.
I mean, clothing
it makes sense. It
still
is
isn't
essential.
like, not really. What's wrong with the clothes you have?
You want to see my underwear, bro? There's skid marks and tears and
That's
holes.
disgusting because I've never had a single skid mark on any of my underwears.
Really?
In my entire life.
I don't know what it is.
Maybe when I was a fucking
different.
poopy diaper baby, had skid marks.
You were diapers, not.
But then, like, still, like when I was fucking
Gotcha.
3 or 4 wearing underwear.
Shit stains.
Yeah, maybe when I didn't know how to use the toilet correctly.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying. After a year, like socks though too. Like your socks don't have holes in them.
No.
You don't get holes in your socks ever?
No.
Damn. So no wonder you don't think clothes are essential.
No, because I fucking have enough clothing to last me forever.
Damn.
I don't need new clothes.
You don't think you're gonna get holes ever? Some of my shit's got holes in it now.
I've never had a hole in one of my shoes either.
How often do you buy new shit though? You buy new clothes
All
pretty
the time.
often. Yeah.
I don't need to. I
Yeah.
want to.
Do you throw away the other clothes? Is it
No.
just one of those immediate out with the old, in with the new?
No. Fat people problem?
I guess so. I think it's just because I sweat a lot.
I don't even, I sweat more than you.
I sweat a lot, and like the fabric probably just gets eaten away.
Nah. The only thing I go through are certain pants.
Like skinny, like the pre-cut jeans. Oh, what are they called? The
Distressed jeans?
distressed jeans. Yeah.
No. Just some jeans I tear through the crotch.
Why?
'Cause I'm sweaty and moving.
Yeah, that's my issue.
Friction, 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 friction. Burn, 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 tear, tear, tear.
Ripping and tearing.
Yes.
Wild women.
So, I mean, that's the only case I'll have to buy new pants, but now that I am more sedentary in my job, I don't need to.
Gotcha. Not sweating as much.
Well, I'm still sweating almost the same amount. Just standing
not
still.
friction.
Yeah, there's just no friction there.
Distressed like Alec's underwear. Yep.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah. I'm just keeping it real. I need new clothes.
You just,
And if I had to
just need to wipe better.
I'm wiping just fine. You wipe like a psychopath. Who? Show of hands. Who wipes standing up versus sitting down?
Show of hands. Who has underwear left, or who has poo left over on their underwear?
Not poo. Skid marks.
That's poo.
It's just sweat stains. It's a dark mark.
I don't think so.
It doesn't have to be poo. If you look don't, I'm not gonna look. That's gross. I can look at my own poops, not anyone else's. Plant Daddy, you don't wipe standing up? You wipe through the balls? You go from the top of the crack to the bottom of the crack through the balls? You get poop on your balls?
Skid marks are due to excrement from your own body. Removing feces stains will significantly depend on the color and fabric of your underwear.
That's hilarious.
You have poopy underwear.
All right, I guess I have poopy underwear.
Yeah, after you done poo and you have to wipe.
When you poop, do you stand up to wipe, or do you wipe while sitting down on the toilet?
When I was in the bathroom at Target, there was this guy in the stall, and he was wiping standing up. He was facing the toilet, so his butt was towards the door. Which direction do you face?
I faced the toilet.
You guys are fucking weird.
Because I have to take a step back so I could access the toilet paper roll, wipe, and then drop it in front of me. And also, if you wipe from top of the crack to the ball sack, it'd be more efficient to go whoop and then drop it in like a backhanded kind of like a layup, but in the toilet.
Standing up with your shirt off, so you're naked.
How are we nasty because how we wipe? That's just
Obviously, we've determined that it's inefficient.
How did your mom wipe your ass when you were a kid? Did she go through the back or through the
She
nuts?
picked my legs up and fucking went boop. That's how you wipe a baby. Because poo gets on their back.
No,
How the fuck do you remember
How do
getting
you
wiped down
know?
as a baby?
I just do. Do you not?
What's your earliest cognitive memory?
Drinking wine. I was 2. I could barely. I just learned how to walk. I couldn't talk, and I was thirsty. I reached up to the table, grabbed a Solo cup.
Plant Daddy, I wipe sitting down. I'm normal.
I grabbed the red Solo cup. I drank from it because I thought it was water, and it was nasty. And I put it back, and I walked away. It's one of my earliest memories. I remember that. I remember not being able to talk. That's all I really remember. And then drinking the wine, and it was gross. It was white wine.
So you don't remember getting changed as a child?
I remember my mom wiped my ass a few times. Yeah, after pooping. I remember the potty training phase. Do you remember the potty training phase?
Yeah.
I remember getting potty
I wiped
trained.
myself. No one wiped me.
My mom wiped my ass when she was potty training me. She did fucking done.
While you were standing?
Yeah.
I'd feel violated.
I don't know. I mean, you're getting taught how to shit. It's pretty all on the table at that point. There's no real.
You sit there and focus.
There's no real line you can cross when someone's wiping your ass. Plus, it's also the same thing. Like, once you hit like 80, most people need their ass wiped. So like,
I mean, if you still need to
do you
stand, maybe.
do you feel violated? You should feel fresh and clean. You should feel appreciation. You don't walk around with a poopy butthole all day.
I feel like the people who need help wiping when they're 80 are the ones who stand. Because you got too much shit going on. Like, you're gonna lose your balance. You're gonna fall and hit your head. If you do it while you sit down, you'll be fine. The worst thing you got to worry about is rotating to grab.
I don't know. I feel like I'd get shit on my balls.
You don't.
Think I would.
You literally don't.
Is there a right way? Do you think?
No, there's not.
Do you think there's a God intended
No.
like as cavemen? Because as cavemen never wiped their ass. Just imagine that.
I mean, we don't know that.
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, we can't really say it's the right way.
But I'm saying it's just one of those things like evolutionarily, like why doesn't any other animal need to wipe?
Wasabi, falling asleep anywhere and ending up in your bed was great.
Always. Falling asleep in the car for me. We're always on those road trips.
Moving on from poopy buttholes.
All right. Guess he doesn't want to talk about poopy buttholes anymore.
We're talking about children's poopy buttholes.
My child rectum.
Yeah. So...
Keeping it classy on 2D's drinking beer.
Yes. So I was on TikTok the other day and I saw this account. It's called Official Captured by Robots. And
Nice.
basically, if my mouse wants to work, that's great. No, it's metal music played by robots.
Oh, but
This guy-
I see a drum pedal.
I mean, that's just what it's using to strum. It's like a whole thing.
Got
Like
it.
he's playing a regular guitar and a bass at the same time.
Nice. I would love.
That was also probably loud as shit for everybody.
I know. I saw it clipping. I would love to be able to set up microphones and record it cleanly because all I really hear is the mechanical parts.
Well, yeah. So
That was badass.
it's fucking cool, right?
Yeah.
It'll play that better than a human would, because it's a robot.
Not necessarily better than a human would because it's a robot.
Robots can do anything better than a human can.
Explain to me why that's better, and I'll explain to you why you're wrong.
Well, I mean, it just needs to be fine tuned because it's like a fucking. It's not like a Boston Dynamics robot. Some dude made this in his basement.
Well, you're saying robots will play it better than humans.
Yeah, because robots can be perfect.
I disagree.
Why?
I'll tell you why. When you're recording someone playing guitar or bass, a lot of rock bands or metal bands, their instinct is to play hard. The dun 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 dun. But realistically, if you play softer, it gets the full tone of the string. So there's a bit of dynamics you need that it gets very delicate. So unless they program velocity, I'm sure you've seen in my program, like you could change velocity of how hard and soft you play notes and stuff like that. Those nuances.
Yeah.
Unless you'd really fine tune that robotically, and then of course it was all metal, so that's all gonna get picked up in the recording. And then the contact points, whether they're playing with a pick or playing with, flesh on their finger picking, that will change the tone and the timbre of the instrument, which is all super important. If you're a robot, the timbre, the velocity is probably going to be a set tone. And then it gets into this question of, does it fit the tone of the song? Because even though you're playing the guitar really hard, even though you're playing the bass really hard and it sounds hard and it'd be good for a show because you're performing, it's not the best thing for the recording because it's not picking up the full range of the instrument. It's not even playing the proper note at some point because you're overselling a string, or it's the pickups are picking up too much of the pick noise or whatever. Because those pickups, they're so sensitive. I saw a lady one time performing. She had an acoustic guitar. She had a looper pedal. She puts the guitar to her face and starts singing into it, and the pickups recorded it. And then she put that on a loop, and it was like this big echoey room sound that was great. It was just this wooden acoustic reverb. It was awesome. But that was only done because of the looper pedal and all the nuanced performances that she had done before. So I don't think a robot could do that.
I think robots will surpass humans at every stage eventually when they're developed too.
What do you think the future looks like for robots? Because I just watched iRobot, where the entire world, everyone's got a robot assistant. What do you think goes first? Because we already have robots, right? We have robots building cars. We have robots making plastic, making candy.
Robots make everything.
Robots do make everything, right? So robots even make other robots. They make computers. They make microchips. They make motherboards. What's the first thing to go? Because my theory is they won't just replace workers, because then you'd have a bunch of people out of work. And it's one of those things with economy, like we talked about.
Oh, well.
With money, they're like, there's only a certain threshold where it's like, even if everyone had $1 million, it wouldn't help. So it's like, if everyone had a robot that would go to work for you or do this mundane task for you, it wouldn't help, because everyone now has a robot to do their laundry. It would be frivolous at that point. Because the market, because
I don't know what that word means.
Useless, a waste of time.
How is having something else do your laundry a waste of your time?
Well, because everyone would want to buy one, right? So you're saying robots will take over humans, but
Yeah.
that could only happen after every human has a robot, right?
Not necessarily.
Do you see it as a instance of robots gaining sentience and taking over?
No. They can just do anything that we could do more efficiently with a very smaller margin of error. So they can perform a task way more efficiently than we could and get it done right 99% of the time. Wrong. I disagree. Robots be smart as shit.
Do you wrong?
Robots be smart as shit.
I don't think robots. Here's the thing: robots aren't smart, though. They're programmed. They just follow script. And even sometimes my computer will turn on. Yes, please. Even my computer will turn on sometimes, and it has a bug. The ghost in the machine, bro. You know that.
Can't relate.
Josh is hooking you up right now,
Just
Plant.
gotta turn it on.
I'm super interested in this debate, though, because I can't imagine. I mean, clearly we just see this differently, but at the same time, like.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, he's back.
What's up, guys?
How's it going, Plant Daddy?
How am I wrong about robots?
Everything's
Oh, you cut out a little bit.
He left the channel.
Uh-oh. The robots are taking over, and they kicked his ass out.
Oh, he's back.
I'm back. I hit the wrong button.
It's all good. How's Sasha?
She's doing good. She's actually cuddling with my wife right now. So.
Oh, what a potato.
Yes. All right. So you guys want to talk about robots? Let's talk about robots.
Sure do. Let's do it.
I have some very strong opinions about robots and why I think Josh is wrong.
Let's hear it.
Right? Because when we look at robots in media, which not for nothing, you're also underestimating how much media has actually influenced your ideology of what robots are.
That's a great point.
Robots are only at the max point of what our own technology is and at the max point of what our own manufacturing is. Correct or incorrect?
No, that's right. I'm not saying that it's going to happen within the next 2 weeks.
Could you clarify that for me? I that kind of went over my head, to be honest.
Technology can only go as far as it currently is at.
Plant Daddy?
The technology behind it can go much further than the physical being of what it is can.
The technology
Right.
can progress faster than the robotics of it.
Exactly.
Because essentially,
Now-
I think we all kind of
Right.
imagine it being robotics or robots that take over, right? Like physical, autonomous machines.
Exactly. And you said it yourself with iRobot,
Yeah.
right? We had iRobot where those beings were, this kind of material that, was made of whatever, and, it's more than stainless steel. It's something better.
Yeah.
And they had these plastics on them, and then within them there was, this script, like you were saying, that can do this, this, and this, where they need nothing else to do anything else.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's just not how the world is.
That's
And
not
I
how
say
robots
that
work.
because, well, no, not even that, because you can have an autonomous robot and
Look at your
it
Roomba.
can do, it could do a lot of things where it's exactly. I have a RoboVac. Not gonna take over the world.
But you tell
It's dumb
you,
as shit.
You,
But
you can't even clean my fucking kitchen.
his name is Mike, and he's very stupid.
Everyone names
I
their
will tell
Roomba.
you-
I love that. Everyone's got their named Roomba.
His name is Mike, and he's very stupid.
That's
What I
awesome.
mean, though, is that if you were to take Mike outside and leave him outside, he would get destroyed, right or wrong.
Right. but
Correct.
It's also a specialized thing. It's programmed to do a certain thing.
And that's what I'm saying.
No,
is like
and-
the
but
scripts
what I'm-
always limit it.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is that the limit of what the ideology is at a very basic and fundamental point, in which at some point something is going to fail, right? It is not above just the wiring. It is not above just the simple circuitry. It is not above just the simple materials. Because we know, even if it's made out of stainless steel, there are limits to stainless steel. And I
Yes.
think it's more so like the movies that show robots getting shot up and destroyed, that is the actual reality. Is that at no point will there be able where we
They're not
at
always
no
going to be
point-
bulletproof.
they won't be bulletproof, and if they are bulletproof, they will be null and void, as in what they can do. If you
They
get what
lose
I'm
so much
saying.
functionality in being like, if you drive an SUV and it's bulletproof, they got the doors bulletproof, the glass bulletproof, the amount of weight you add drastically impacts the gas mileage and
And the usability, exactly.
exactly the practicality of it. Yes, it will be good at stopping bullets, but unless you get shot at every day, it's not really practical enough. And if you're getting shot at every day, maybe upgrade to a tank or something. You know, it's like there's got to be something that the form has to fit the function.
And I'll take it even more basic than that, because we do have war machines, correct? We have autonomous drones.
Drones, yeah.
But guess what? Those autonomous drones, they aren't autonomous. People like to think that those drones just go up and they fly around and they do all that searching.
They're just
No,
unmanned. It means
They're
there's no one in it.
unmanned. There's no one in it, exactly.
Yeah.
But they are still at the limit of their fuel, and they're at the limit of what they can or cannot do weight capacity wise and whatnot. Yes, they have drones that could drop bombs, but they can't fly as long as the drones that are just doing, reconnaissance.
Yeah, which
But
is
those drones still are at the mercy of us, because those drones cannot just fly around and do what we say for them to do without somebody inputting that information.
And let's not
And
even
so-
let's not even say us. Let's just say at the mercy of something, right? Like there's a lot of movies like take The Matrix for example, right? The robots that took over, they are powered by the sun, and then the humans black out the sun with nuclear bombs, and then the robots have to find a new energy source, right? So it's not even so much as that. It's just that we need food, right? So everything's always dependent on something. It's the cycle. If you break one link in that chain, whether it's the gas for the drone or the aluminum for the body or whatever it is, it can break. It could be physical. It could be Software, it could be wiring, it could be faulty wiring, but at some point in time, a
Which
bug will
humans
be
need to
revealed.
do.
It's like
Which
humans
need
get
to do.
cancer too. Like humans, no matter how healthy you are, one day you can wake up and just have cancer. We have
I mean, I'm not sure
bugs
that's
and
quite
bugs in
how
our
that works.
I'm just drawing parallels, right? So, like, even if you program a machine that reads a script and it follows that script perfectly every day, one day it will have a bug, one day it will need to be reset, right? It just happens. Technology needs to turn off and turn on. Like, we need to get sleep, we need to go to bed, we need to wake up, we need to eat food, they need to recharge, whatever it is. Like, there's certain things that you can't deny. Like, we will need other things to keep going.
And even at a fundamental level, is that Josh was like, they do it at a more proficient level than we do. Well, actually, no, they don't.
Because
You
we
find better-
we got them.
Hold on, because
Yeah, go ahead. My bad.
here's I wanna stomp on Josh real quick. I wanna stomp on Josh.
We're
real
used to
quick.
stomping on Alec. Now stomp on me.
Let's go.
Yeah,
goes
I
around
want to
comes
stomp on
around.
Josh. I just want to stomp on Josh real quick because he made the comment that really grinded my gears, saying that robots can do it better at a more proficient level than we can.
Yeah.
Which isn't true. The robots are coded to do what humans do, right? If they did it at the level in which Josh expressed, and I'm taking you verbatim.
Sure.
Now I'm gunning at you verbatim because this is what you said. If robots did exactly what you think they do at the proficiency level that you believe they do, then that high percentage that you said would still not equate to the amount of manufacturing defects that we do get here in today's society.
Boom.
Mind you, and this isn't even just like in America versus China or India versus Portugal when it comes to manufacturing. Mind you, yes, do humans make mistakes? Absolutely. One of the best paintbrush companies in the world, and I do mean in the world, which is based out of the United Kingdom, has 23 workers that work for them. And they are the sons and daughters. Oh, actually, that's a lie. They only use the women because the women have a better quality control eye than men do, and that's through literally I think like 50 or 60 years worth of testing. They have proven that women have a more intricate eye than men do. They have only ever used human manufacturing, and when I say these are the best paintbrush makers in the world, this is literally the top tier of the 1% of people that can manufacture a paintbrush that not even a robot could be so intricate with and I'm not talking about like a paintbrush to paint your house. I'm talking about like arts paintbrushes. These women that make these paintbrushes have a more keen eye than any robot you could manufacture ever, and I'd stake my life on that.
Can I get the name of the company?
I can find it for you 100% because I think there's information out that you would.
Well, I think you're bringing up a great point, right? There's the question right now too of, can a robot be a craftsman and an artist? So you could feed the AI a bunch of Mozart pieces and tell it to spit out something similar to Mozart that isn't Mozart.
Yes.
But to be truly inspired, to be truly created out of nothingness, like music was created because humans were like,
emotion.
Yeah, what is that sound that made me feel this way? And then TV and movies, they utilized excuse me. They utilized these tools that were like, how can I make people understand and feel what I'm feeling? So they wrote scripts, and then they wrote movies, and then they put those movies on big projectors, on big speaker systems, so the world can hear and see them, And would a robot do that? Here's the sip.
Yep. You had to clear your throat, so I redeemed sip so you could,
Thanks for looking out, man.
quench your thirst there. And I wholeheartedly agree. And I actually agree more so with that statement more so than anything else. Actually, is that at at such a simple level as music, where an AI absolutely can make, a concerto or create, an orchestra where they can make music. They've done that. They've had AIs study
They
Mozart, Bach, and everything else and make music compositions that sounded similar, and yet it's still the tech just wasn't there and the coding wasn't there for them to make something that made sense to a human ear.
and
You know what
then
I'm saying? Could they make music? Absolutely. But is it gonna do the same feeling like listening to, a Bach piece or a Mozart's piece, where the emotion that they were feeling while they were writing it is actually what's being played out onto the notes? I don't think the tech is there for sure. I don't think the tech is there. Could they possibly in the future? Sure. But then it becomes a human needs to hear it and place that where they feel fit. Because you can't just have an AI make music and then just slap that on, on a movie. It needs to make sense.
yeah, it needs to fit.
It needs to fit, and that's where the human aspect comes in. And I like I said, I think in the future, I think the robots are still going to heavily rely on the human aspect to such a degree that I don't think a human and robot existence is going to be as copacetic as one may think and as Josh may think. I'm calling out Josh.
But I mean, we won't know until we ultimately get there. Like, we don't know what's going to happen in 30, 40, 50, 100 years.
Let me tag in real quick. I just want to bring in two main things that I wanted to say. Is you said they'd be more efficient at it, and
Potentially, yes.
well, no, you didn't say potentially. You said they would be. And what would happen is all the man hours of teams that it took to feed AI all the Mozart pieces, all the Vincent van Gogh pieces, all the art that we've then told it to imitate is just that. It's like all that man hours put into something just so one piece of robotics can emulate something that a human did. So I would argue that's the least efficient way because it takes whole teams of people who went to college for years and years and years to program a machine just to imitate something that's already been done. And then when you get into something like Edgar Allan Poe, right? AI has been trying to write now. They make it write scripts. They feed it scripts, and if you've ever read the scripts, they're pretty atrocious. But for the most part,
Pretty fucking funny.
they're entertaining because how bad they are.
Like the AI that wrote the play or wrote a movie, right?
Yeah, there's like
The
plays,
AI that wrote
TVs,
a movie,
movies.
and it
Yeah,
was
there's a
all
bunch
over
of
the world. It was like all over the place when they wrote it.
Yeah. There's AI like that. And then what I wrote down was Edgar Allan Poe, right? Like, you'll never have an AI experience loss or pain or emotional distress the same way writers like Edgar Allan Poe have, where he...
Ooh, that's deep. That's deep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he had this underage wife who died of cancer. Then he had another underage wife who died of something. And then his mom died. And then his brother died. And then everyone around him fucking was dying. And then the Black Plague. Everyone was dying. His whole life was just death and strife. You will never find a robot that can experience anything to create something out of experience. It can
Can't
only
code that.
Yeah, you can't code that. It's all just what an individual felt and then created. A robot could never do that. They can only be fed what an individual felt and created through those teams that take hundreds of thousands of man hours, and then being told, "Hey, write something like this," and it's still missing the mark.
I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try making Sadbot.
Go for it.
If that's what the team wants to
Sad boy
do,
bot.
if their goal is to make something that can imitate art, if that's what the team wants to do, that's their goal. Go for it.
Well, are they trying to imitate art, or are they trying to create sentience?
You can't create sentience. That's
can't.
impossible.
So then, how would
I agree.
how would
I agree.
how would humans
100%.
be how would humans be beat by robots if if we still
How fast can you build a car?
I couldn't build a car.
How fast can a robot build a car?
I don't know.
How fast can
But that's
a
the thing.
robot build a car efficiently
Robots,
without defect?
robots. You
Probably
gotta
fast.
You gotta remember. Robots don't build cars. Robots say drill, 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 and the other robot goes bend, bend, whatever. It's a series of robots doing one thing that humans could do, but don't want to. So we made robots do it.
Agreed.
One robot doesn't build a car. A series of robots build cars
Yeah,
by
robot.
all doing one thing repeatedly. It's the Harrison Ford model, the
Production line.
the production line. So I would argue a robot doesn't build a car. Robots build a car.
Semantics.
So how fast can a group of people build a car? I'd say pretty quick.
Robots don't need brakes, though.
I'm not saying it's about brakes, but you look at Ferrari, you look at all the luxury brands that are really higher up. Ferrari, I think Lamborghini still, and then for sure Rolls Royce.
Pagani.
Yeah, all those
Okay.
all those are still built and handcrafted by hand, every
Yes.
single part.
Sure. There's
Yes.
also only like
Yes.
a few couple hundred of each model made a year.
and they're great. And how many of them have had recalls? You've never heard of a Bentley being recalled. You've never heard of a Rolls Royce getting
Well,
recalled.
Well,
I'm sure they have.
yes, they have.
Okay.
They have.
But
That's impossible.
But not
yeah.
not
Yeah, I
not because of machinery error, but because of handmade error, or they buy
No,
faulty- right.
not even
Oh, let me
that.
know.
It's not. It's. Listen, no, not for nothing. You're not. You're on the right track, and I agree. It's not so much the it's not so much the human error. It's the manufacturing of certain parts error.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like,
Basically, case in point, the Takata recall on the airbags. Those airbags were inefficient and they were blowing up, and it was the circuitry and the airbags that were blowing up in people's faces while they were just being used normally. Not in a car accident where they weren't going off or they were going off. They were going off prematurely, and that was due to manufacturing.
manufacturing that I'm
wasn't-
willing to bet was done by robots.
Done by robots. That's yes. And the quality of materials being used was so shitty that, at one point 1.2 million, Nissan Altimas were recalled and had to have new airbags put in. And then not only was it Nissan Altimas, but also high-end luxury vehicles that were using just those kinds of airbags, which it was a conglomerate of, a monopolized airbag company that did airbags, which was Takata. They were cutting corners and they used lesser materials and ended up having this issue. And that didn't spawn from just low-end vehicles. That spawned all the way to high-end vehicles. And any car manufactured with those airbags in them was recalled because they realized that that there was an issue, there was a fundamental issue on the way that it worked, but it wasn't human error. It was a material and manufacturing error that had to do, and yes, you're right, that had to do with mass production on a global scale using robots. Now, do I blame the robots? No. There's a lot of other,
But it happens.
fundamental. There's a lot of other fundamentals as to why it was wrong that it failed. Yes. But no, you're absolutely right. How many like I said, I brought a Pagani. How many Paganis do you see on the road? Not many. Sure, no
Fucking
problem.
zero.
How many Paganis do you see in the shop? Not many. Why? Because everything that's manufactured on that vehicle is strewn over by a single person, especially Pagani, that uses AMG motors. And even still to today, any Mercedes-Benz that you see with an AMG badge on it, so long as it's a true AMG, or any Pagani that has an AMG motor in it, every single one of those motors you check has a placard on it, which has the name, and it's signed by the one person that manufactured that motor by hand in Germany. Every single one of those motors that you see in an AMG car, or in a Pagani, or any other vehicle that has an AMG motor in it, that is manufactured by one person in one warehouse in one part of Germany. And those motors do not fail, and they fail very rarely. And even if they fail, they're made to such a high standard that it's not a complete detonation that the motor goes kaboom. It's like something finally gave up. Okay, and that may not even be, that's not a the way that they did it kind of deal. It's the material finally just gave out.
Just standard wear and tear.
It just standard wear and tear. And so with that, I still agree with you, Alec, is that it's not the human manufacturing part error. I still think that it's like Josh was saying, where there's very minimal, mess ups. I think it's that. I think it's still that robotic error percentage, which is higher than Josh, which is higher than Josh thought. But that's why there's quality control, and quality control is done by whom? People.
Humans, yeah.
Exactly. After the things roll off, after everything is rolled off the assembly line, the things that roll off the assembly line are still checked by humans, because there are certain things that a keen eye will be able to do much better than any sensor you can manufacture, and that's just because we're beings. It's the same concept. The sentient versus
it's sentience versus
robot,
intimate knowledge.
Yeah, it's just there is going to be that percentage of failure, and I don't think that a robot is ever going to have the tech in it to be able to do better than the human eye, which is so immaculate and so concise as it is.
What about that ping pong robot that can't be beaten? Have you seen that ping pong robot?
I just have one thing to say, and then we can get to the ping pong robot, okay?
Sure.
My next thing I was going to say is the next argument to have would be the percentages, right? So even though people are saying, like, sure, well, we're sitting here saying that even though there's not as many recalls on, like, Lamborghini or Rolls-Royce because they're handmade or whatever, you got to look at the percentages, right? So it's one of those things, like, airplanes are the safest way to travel as opposed to driving your car. And that's just because, well, there's higher standards in airplane engines than there are car engines. It's one of those things.
Very hard to run into another plane also in the air versus running into another car that's manned by another person.
Sure. Well,
air traffic control does a very good job at doing what they do, and the stipulations that they put in place to actually be able to be up in the air is so stringent that it's very, very tight knit. I mean, not for nothing. The only time you ever hear of a plane hitting another plane is either A,
in the Middle East,
it's actually on the ground. when it's actually on the ground. Right? When a plane actually, if a plane was to touch another plane, it's when a plane is on the ground and there's a mismatch of size and runways and everything else where they hit each other. That stuff happens, but that's normally due to people. Not the planes. It's not the plane's fault. It's the people's fault. And during air shows, that's the only other time. And once again,
when they're risking it all.
When they're risking it all, that's human error. But how often do you ever hear a plane is up in the air, a plane struck another plane and has gone down? It's never been that. If you can find out when the last time a plane in the air, like any commercial plane in the air, hit another plane and crashed, I mean, I'd
at least 100 years ago.
Not in my lifetime. Not in my lifetime have I ever heard a plane in the air has hit another plane in the air on its route to anywhere.
And this is my point exactly. Is I'm trying to say is like the margin of error.
Other errors. Yeah, not without other errors going on.
When you have mass production, you're
2021.
No way.
There's a whole Wikipedia article.
Okay. Are we trusting Wikipedia?
Yes.
I don't know. I think
it was Key Lime Air Flight 970 and Private Cirrus SR-22 flight.
But where was it?
Ooh, so it was a private. It was a private flight.
Private flight.
Two.
So it wasn't commercial, but yeah.
It was on the approach in Aparajo County, Colorado, United States.
But on the approach in the base, in the airport.
To land.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. That's anyway.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. Exactly what I'm saying there.
Yeah.
Where it becomes where the
Traffic
flight
control was
becomes
probably like,
all-
"Hey, pull up," and they're like, "Okay, poof."
Not even. Traffic control was like, all right, you're clear here, and there was a miscommunication between one pilot and the other pilot.
Mm-hmm.
Because don't forget, at a certain point, air traffic control has no control.
Mm-hmm. They're just
Once
information.
Their information on the approach and everything, like, all right, you're gonna land here and here and here. Once you get to a certain point, it's up to the pilots to take the plane out of autopilot and be able to land that plane via their own knowledge and what they see and their own personal experience. It's the same.
That's the
Same
equivalent.
analogy with how the flight that landed in the Hudson, where they tried 50 different people to land that plane, and they also tried AI to land that plane, and there wasn't a single person alive other than the one pilot that had 30 years experience was able to do and save every single person's life on that plane. There wasn't a single person on this planet other than the guy that did it who would have been able to do it. Period. That was literally proven via the case, and that's why he kept all his medals and all his life-saving awards, and that's why he kept everything, was because they proved that there wasn't another person on this planet with the same amount of experience that he did that could emulate what he did by saving everybody, landing the plane the way he did, and making sure that everybody got out before he even left the plane.
And
That's human.
And that's basically the airplane equivalent of backing into someone in the parking lot.
I mean, I can give you the last cruising altitude collision happened in
Yeah.
happened in 2015 between a Cieba Intercontinental Airlines Flight 71 and Senegalair business jet. So a 737 hit
And a
private jet. So a commercial airline hit a private jet. September
Private
5th,
jet was probably fucking up though.
September 5th, 2015, in eastern Senegal at cruising altitude.
Where's Eastern Senegal?
Africa?
Senegal is in Africa. Senegal is on the western, northwestern coast of Africa.
Okay.
More northern west coast of Africa, yeah. The Senegalese, very amazing people, if you ever get to meet any of them.
Okay. I'd love to do a trip to Africa.
And I don't mean like if you ever meet this kind of African. No, I mean like Senegalese. The Senegalese people, anybody from Senegal, and I do mean like people. I worked with a Senegalese person. He was from Senegal. Mm-hmm. One of the smartest men I ever known. At the age point that he was, because he was only 27. I'm only 25, but he was still leaps and bounds smarter than I will ever be. Mm-hmm. And he was one of the nicest men you could ever speak to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great people. Really
awesome.
great people. Yeah.
I asked you to put a pin in something.
Ping pong robot.
Ping pong robot.
What about that?
Yes.
Go. Begin. Round two.
Someone made a robot that plays ping pong.
Show us the ping pong robot.
I gotta work on it. I was looking at.
Didn't we just make jokes about ping and pong
Yeah.
earlier today? You can't have one without the other.
Working at a gym.
Yeah. So tell us about the ping pong robot.
So I was looking at a video back in the day. It was at a tech show, and it was a robot that played ping pong flawlessly.
Has it beaten world champions?
I don't know, man. It was at a fucking tech demo. That's all I saw.
Another good argument for this would be those
this robot.
chess playing robots. Like the AI.
I'm gonna mute this shit so I don't get fucked. But we got people playing a robot.
Run.
And so basically,
Can you put captions on at least?
oh yeah, that's smart.
YouTube captions are garbage.
They are, but
They are, but it's better than nothing.
it's gonna fucking have to work. I just don't want to get fucked by the music.
Yeah. What about the video? Doesn't it detect it by audio, or does it detect the video as well? Because this could technically
Also-
be commentary.
You also gotta remember is that the only way that you'll get DMCA striked is if your VODs are saved.
Yeah.
So
They
if
are.
not all if not all your VODs are saved in public, then you actually won't get DMCA striked.
Interesting.
I'm sure there's a
Or you
way.
can't get DMCA striked, by the way.
I'm sure there's a way though to
Look at the shots though. Look at the
spike
shots.
it.
Very basic. They're
Yeah, you
they're
could spike
a
it.
little back and forth. There's just
If
a
you hit
little
it
back
way
and
to the left or way to the right, it's done. Like there's got to be a way to
that
beat
kid
that.
looks like he's trying.
No, he does not.
Really?
That
He's
kid does
literally
not
only
look like
moved
he's
his hand
trying,
the
bro.
same
He's
way
going
every single
blop,
time.
blop, blop. He's standing still too. Look, they're not trying, bro. You see the professional ping pongers? Bah, 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 bah. They're standing way far back.
It's
Is it
also
cool?
at the limits of its articulation.
It also doesn't have a net, so if it hits the net, it won't. Is that a net? Is this like a projector?
It's just a screen.
That's crazy.
So I mean.
Oh yeah, it's just. I don't know, dude.
Obviously, they have people who aren't like ping pong fucking experts, but still, this robot, I believe, is undefeated.
It's undefeated for anybody that just walks.
But
off the
yeah.
street. If you put it
Are
up
you guys
against somebody
ping pong
that's got
experts?
25 years-
I could beat that
If you
fucking
got somebody
computer
that-
in ping pong.
Are
if
you
got
guys
somebody
ping
that's got
pong
25
experts?
years of ping pong experience under their belt, they will shit on that robot all day long.
Yeah.
Which is the same concept of the paintbrush makers, where there's not a single robot that could do what those paintbrush makers. I'm telling you.
Which, by the way, I think I have the company. Is it Kolinsky Sable?
That sounds expensive.
I can let me do a quick little search.
That's what I got when I searched paintbrushes made by women.
That's all you got? That's all you
Very
typed
expensive from the UK. So
in? Oh, well, that does it. I just can't imagine
all I'm saying is
that ping pong robot taking the championship for the ping pong nationals.
I'm excited for the future technology, seeing where we can get.
You're
what we
excited,
can
you're
do.
excited for
Sable.
tomorrow.
Kolinsky, you're right. Kolinsky Sable is the company
Google
that
hasn't
makes
failed me
the-
yet.
Yeah, that makes the world best and most world-renowned paintbrushes anywhere in the world. Period.
How much are they?
Oh, I'm gonna check.
Very expensive.
I'm gonna check dickblick.com.
Dick Blick.
So a Blick Master Kolinsky Sable brushes and set go from $9 to $513. Why there's such a big gap? Couldn't tell you.
Because the children make the ones that are $9 and the masters make the one that are $500.
No.
I'm just joking, bro.
But not for nothing. If I remember correctly, the apprenticeship, and they also only, the majority of the workers there are like second and third generation brush makers for one, and for two, I think their apprenticeship period is like 10 or 15 years.
Jesus Christ.
So you have to practice for 10 or 15 years in order to become a full-fledged brush maker for the company.
That's insane.
They
Think
have single
think
brushes for
about
like
that.
$500.
Yeah. Yeah, think about that. Think about that timeline. Imagine doing one thing and one thing only for 15 years
I'd kill
before
myself.
you can be eligible to actually, be considered proficient at doing that thing.
That's the
Which
one.
is not for nothing. That's that's pretty normal. Where like, if you're an electrician for 15 years, we only have an apprenticeship in New York for 5 years. All right, and
Yeah.
then you become but you don't become completely proficient until you've been in it. You don't get the respect until you've been in it for a while, right? So it's like these brush makers, you have to do this for like 10 or 15 years before you're allowed to do your own brush by yourself. That's insane. And even then, that may not even prove that you can do it. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to practice for that amount of time before they say
You have to
"All
get the
let's see what
okay,
you
yeah.
can-" yeah. Before even getting the okay to work by yourself and manufacture paintbrushes by yourself.
Yeah.
It's insane. But that's like I'm saying, that's the kind of quality that you're looking at. And when we're talking about if we're talking about robots, there is no manufacturing that's going to be able to become so precise. And that's my honest opinion, and that's what I believe in. And without humans, these sentient beings or any other robots will not exist, because guess what? If we don't make the boards, if there will be no assembly line in which it'll go from start to finish, everything that needs to be, to rolling out a line of sentient beings or any kind of robot at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not possible. That's just not possible, where you could have one assembly line where it can do everything from start to finish without any other human intervention.
Yeah.
It's just not possible. It's fundamentally not possible.
Because you just have machines fixing machines fixing machines. It'd be this endless line. But Josh did say something really interesting that I think was the highlight of why robots are superior. They can't kill themselves. If I was stuck at a job for 15 years, suicide's definitely on the table, especially if it's mundane and I don't like it. But robots don't have that option. They just do the one thing over
they have
and
no
over and
emotions.
over and over and over again. So it's a return on investment, you could say. I think the best benefit to robots is return on investment. Whereas you pay a human, they do their job, and after 15 years, blam, they kill themselves. Now you got to find someone else to do that job.
After
But a robot, that's like maintenance and some lube and some oil, like maybe once or twice a year. So
China
maintenance.
China mitigated that issue.
Well,
They just
China
make
has
enough
slaves right
they
now,
just make
so-
enough of them. They just make enough of them to just fill the line. Oh, Su Jin just killed herself. Oh, we got Senpai that's coming in right after her.
But then they
And
also put the
listen,
fucking
that's not
nets outside of the windows of the tall
Yeah.
so
buildings.
you can't kill yourself. That way you have to work there forever.
So if you try to jump,
that's not even me trying to that's not even a racist thing. That's just like a fact of living in a
Communist
world
country.
where there's that's in a world where there's literally like a billion residents, over a billion, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where one fails, there will always be one to take its place. Faster than you can build the robot to take the place. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And that's the thing too. What's more abundant than human labor right now? It's like also it's supply and
No,
demand.
literally
If
nothing.
if you need someone to work, you're not going to take your time to build a robot. You're going to be like, you come here, do this job.
well, that's why 90% of all the labor in China is still human labor.
But also, I did say they're like have like Uyghur slaves. So just stay woke.
I mean, they are slaves. You're
Yeah.
100% right. There's Netflix documentaries you could watch that shows all.
What are the name of the
Really?
documentaries? Because I'd love to learn more about it.
I can send that to you too.
Send it, bro. Because
This is the perks of going to college, Alec. All right, let me tell you.
Oh,
something. This is
burn.
the perks of going to college, 'cause we had to learn about this stuff when I was in college.
yeah, you go to fake college.
I go to fake college. Yeah.
I haven't learned
The
that shit in
perks of
college.
not going to community college, but going to it's not UC
University.
University, a U college.
I mean, I go to a real college, but
I'm going to a
learn
C
that shit.
college.
J college, junior college.
Yeah, junior college. is
It's called American Factory. It's on Netflix, and I highly implore anybody that's watching, and
Got
the
it.
two of you, to have a popcorn and beer night on your own, and watch this together, and come back to me with your thoughts, and write down your thoughts, because if you guys want to have a serious conversation about
I'm down.
labor and robots,
You want
and
to make that a thing? We can
and-
make it a special.
and the cost of the cost, we can have a serious debate. We can have a very serious debate, and you guys, I will give you guys homework. I want you to write down every issue, every humanitarian or the humanity of things, every humanity issue that you guys find in there. I want you to come back to me, and we'll have a conversation. We'll have a serious conversation.
I'd actually love to do that. Are you down? Let's say.
I'm 100% down. You guys just need to let me know when it is that you want to do it, I'll make myself available. We can, if you guys want to do like a Thursday stream or something, like if you guys want to do it like, like a little special, we can definitely do a special.
Okay. I have a trip next week on the 25th, I believe, to the 27th.
Yes.
We can talk about it on Discord, so we can work that out. But I'm just
Okay.
If you guys want to do that and have some serious
I would love to.
conversations
I would
about
love
things,
to.
yeah, we can definitely do that.
I would love to have a solid like debate and conversation, and more importantly, just like an open forum of knowledge.
Could we do the second?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't really technically go back to the 4th. Do you want to shoot for Monday?
I'm definitely good for that.
We'll do it on the second.
Yeah. And then for those of you listening, watching, and supporting, thank you for everything. But I was told the 4th is when I go back to work, so we'll see how that goes. We might have to reschedule the podcast, but we will, of course, keep you guys in the loop in case anything like that should happen.
Our schedule might change.
But nothing's set in stone yet. I emailed the head of HR, and they have not responded, so we'll see how that goes. But
Plan Daddy, did you see what's going on in Texas?
another sip.
I
Specifically,
redeemed another sip, so you guys have to do another sip.
specifically about education.
Got you.
Like the education bill.
Just stuff about like they don't have to. All three of my bottle caps have
talk
not
about
made
it.
it. Like the
Let's talk
fucking.
about it. Let's talk about it.
They
Yeah, let's
don't
go.
have to teach about like
Oh, yeah, you just told me.
the KKK being morally wrong, and that they don't have to teach about Martin Luther King Jr. and Native Americans. I haven't looked into it.
Okay.
I've just read headlines.
Pull up some headlines and some articles.
Okay. Do you know that they still teach in some schools in the South? And I'm not going to point fingers at any specific state.
Texas.
I'm just going to say the South. No, I'm just going to say the South.
All
Do you know that in some states in the South, they still teach that the South won?
Oh, I believe it.
The war?
No.
The Civil
yeah.
War?
This isn't a believe it. This is still in modern age, and this was told to me by other teachers that have worked in the South. That in the South, the curriculum in some schools in the South, in several different states, that the curriculum still is taught that the South won, and then they have their own history book in which they confirm the ideology of why they feel the South won.
Well,
Tell me your thoughts. I know you have no information about what I'm talking about. I want to hear your thoughts. Your immediate thoughts on that concept. That concept alone.
my immediate thought is this the problem with democracy? Is this the problem with everyone being able to think and believe what they want to think and believe? Because having that kind of discourse among a nation is exactly what Abraham Lincoln said. House divided against itself cannot stand. And if people are still sitting up here being like, hey, these things and thoughts and beliefs are still okay and justified, and the rest of the country and the other half of the country says, hey, these thoughts and beliefs are not justified and radical and wrong, then that's exactly the pitfall we've been told to avoid our whole lives. So that's pretty shitty. That's my first realization is it an issue of democracy or is it an issue of racism?
Well, it's fucked up because that's it's not what happened. They're
What happened?
Teaching them the wrong history.
Yeah.
That's what you think. That's what you think. Let me ask you, and I'm doing the thing right now. Let me
Devil's
ask
advocate.
you,
Yeah.
Do you have any? How do I phrase this?
Proof?
Do you think it's wrong for private schools to be able to teach whatever they want because they're private schools and the parents pay specifically for these students to go to these private schools and learn what these parents believe the school stands for, and do you think it's okay for them to teach whatever they want because it's up to the parents to pay for these schools and they're in agreement with what the school's curriculum is teaching? Do you think that's wrong?
No.
Or do you think that's fair in the fact that they are doing this on their own free will, they're doing it on their own thing, and they're paying for it themselves, and these kids are going to these schools privately, and they're being taught what they're being taught in the confines of their own school system?
They know what they're getting into by going to a private school, especially if you have to pay for it. Private schools basically operate like any other capitalistic business.
Yep.
So if you know beforehand that they teach a certain curriculum and anything but, that's on you. It's not really. I mean, it.
But is that wrong? Listen, but hear me out. Is that wrong?
It is, but it isn't.
It's the same reason. It's the same reason why we join a certain corporation, right?
Yeah.
Because they have, they have better benefits than X, Y, and Z corporation, or they want, they idolize X, Y, and Z that benefits you yourself better than another corporation that may offer you this, that, and the third, but it's not really that good for you. So you're going to go to this company because what you want out of your own life, they offer it better. Is that wrong?
I don't think it's wrong.
I'm asking, I'm asking.
I don't think it's wrong.
Are they wrong?
Because these people are choosing to do a certain thing. It's their business. However, whatever gets your rocks off, go for it. Like, if that's what they want to do, I'm not going to be one to tell them, don't do it. It's your business. Do what you want. And if it fails, it fails. If it succeeds, it succeeds. At the end of the day, what makes it wrong is that everyone's choosing to still support it.
My reluctant and unfortunate answer is it's not wrong. Because I immediately go to the thoughts of like religion and like private schools. And I think it's everyone's ability to choose. Of course, not everyone has the ability to pay, but at the same time, it would also hit a gray area of censoring religion. So like you'd have to really define the lines of censorship versus misinformation. Do you know what I'm saying? You'd have to really.
Who are you to say what I can and cannot teach my child?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying.
Who are
that.
you to say? Who are you, Alec, to say what fundamental ideologies I want to teach my kid and what school I want to send them to, so that they learn what I feel is right in this world? Who are you to say that I can't do that?
Well,
Nobody.
Well, let me tell you, I am American, and that's all there is to it. And
Are you a Christian?
no, I'm not Christian.
Then
but
you're not American.
But here's where the separating line becomes, right?
Are you Catholic?
I am agnostic.
Then you're not American.
Are you practicing any religion?
I meditate before bed. That's about it.
Then you're not American.
All right.
And what do you know? What do you know?
All right. Well, all
what
right.
do you know? What do you know? What's best for my kid?
I'm trying to get there.
We don't.
That's what I'm saying.
right.
This is exactly the point I'm saying, because I agree with what you're saying.
Well,
I'm playing devil's advocate, and I'm coming at you from the point of view of the other people, and this is where what Josh
You
was saying,
people.
this title,
Yeah.
like this title of in Texas, this is what they're fighting against right now. The Texans believe in a certain thing, right? But then outside Democrats or outside Republicans are saying, well, no, that's not right. Listen, this is wrong. This isn't what actually happened. But in Texas, they're saying, well, okay, but this is what we're teaching, and this is how we want to teach it.
Let me just tell you
that-
where I draw the line then, because what I was going to get into was religion versus racism, okay? Two big R's that no one wants to talk about it. I think if you look at the model of religious schools and education, you will clearly see sermons of peace and love and prosperity. Where you look at racist speech, hate speech, and that is very much the opposite. And I think when I was saying if you define the lines more, those lines would very quickly and very clearly become defined to where you're saying you could teach your people, you could teach your children, your family, whatever religion. But if your religion has anything to do with murdering people, anything to do with discriminating other religions, if your religion has anything to do with sacrificial executions, that's the line. And I think
Don't they all have that?
and I think very, very clearly you could state, hey, if you want to teach your kids, it's called critical race theory, you could make that a chapter in the book. You could say this group of people believes this group of people believes this. You're free to choose your own. Here's how the war ended. Here's how it's affected the country. And here's how to discuss topics peacefully and be informative and cordial. Because I think so often what's lacking is just open dialogue between two people with conflicting views that can sit down and listen to each other. And I think if you integrate that into the system where you say, look, you could practice religion, you could practice racism, you could practice fucking animal rights, you could practice whatever you want to practice, you could believe whatever you want to believe, but you have to draw the line at acting on it. You have to draw the line at taking actions to radicalize your ideas. But I think there's strength in communicating ideas because even the bad ideas deserve spotlight so everyone can be like, that's a bad idea.
Like my robots.
Like your robots. At some point, someone's going to say something stupid. I'm not trying to just jam you right now. I'm just saying.
I did it to myself.
I say stupid shit all the time. I say shit that luckily Josh has been like, take that back. That's wrong. And I have because I was like, you know what? Like, you're right. That was fucking really stupid. And it was just something I just threw out there. And Daryl David.
Who?
But
Daryl Davis. Have you guys ever heard of this story? I don't mean to
No, go for it.
Actually,
I feel like I got the majority of it across.
Yeah, no, this ties into exactly what you're saying. This is legitimately what you're saying.
The
Daryl
musician?
Davis. No.
How do you spell it?
Said, Alec, Daryl Davis spelled exactly as you think.
Is this one of those things you learn in a real
Daryl
college that my tiny brain couldn't comprehend?
Daryl Davis. Let me give you guys a quick little synopsis of who Daryl Davis is.
Go for it.
Daryl Davis is a black man.
Uh-huh.
Okay? Daryl Davis is a black man. He's from Africa. He's black. Simple as that. We're gonna keep it black and white just for right now.
Okay.
Daryl Davis infiltrated the KKK.
Yeah, Undercover Brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that movie.
Daryl Davis is the flesh and blood man who became best friends with the
Grand Wizard.
With the Grand Wizard of a KKK organization, became best friends and had dinner with him.
Yeah.
How he did that was he basically he didn't lie, he just did his thing and ended up being black.
It was espionage.
It wasn't espionage. He wanted a meeting with the Grand Wizard, and he was granted a meeting with the Grand Wizard. When he had a meeting with the Grand Wizard, they were under the assumption that he was white. When he showed up, he was not. And the Grand Wizard still allowed Daryl Davis to have a conversation with him once. After that conversation, he allowed him to have another conversation, and then another. And the concept that you literally just spoke on was two parties of differing ideologies being able to sit and have a conversation and be able to speak about their differences and then have a conversation about what each and the other both feel is right or wrong.
You need to understand
not-
each other. Yeah.
Was that not what you said? Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Daryl Davis did exactly that. And he did that well before you and I were even fucking
Born.
having conversations. Daryl Davis had a conversation as a black man with a white supremacist, the leader of a white supremacist group, a grand wizard of the KKK.
Still the coolest fucking title of any organization ever.
Not through any serious amount of deception, other than the fact that he just
It was
didn't
all over the
sound
phone.
black.
Yeah.
He didn't sound black. So because of that, he was granted a meeting. And when he showed up, oh man, this guy happened to be black. But what happened on the other side, being a KKK member, was the fact that he still allowed him to have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
And in that, just being able to sit at the same table, that's where the dialogue was able to be opened up, and how Daryl Davis was able to convert white supremacists that thought they were white supremacists to a different ideology of, okay, I still believe in X, Y, and Z, but I'm still willing to have a conversation with another strong man or woman, regardless of the color of their skin, which was represented when the Grand Wizard came out and said, this man that you see standing next to me, that has been next to me during this entire speech, because Daryl Davis went to a Ku Klux Klan rally and stood next to his best friend, stood next to him while he spoke on what he believed in. Daryl still stood there. And at the very end, the Grand Wizard said, if you have any issues with this man that's been standing next to me, this is one of my best friends, and he eats and drinks at my table with my family, then you have a problem with me. And in that lies the most powerful thing you could imagine when it comes to racism, is the fact that beyond the color, who Daryl Davis was as a person rang truer and rang harder than the color of his own skin. And even the member of one of the most racist groups in the history of mankind here in the United States, not in the world, but here in the United States, was still able to prove to their own people that it is still not about the color of their skin. Because this man, I trust this man with my life and my family, and he eats at my table. And end statement there.
Yeah. No, I mean,
That goes with exactly what you were saying, which was to be able to sit down and have a conversation with somebody of an opposing view.
and I often find that's what the issue is, right? I think I saw the movie Undercover Brother, and then I saw a documentary about the same issue. And a lot of the time, they were interviewing the Daryl Davis was his name. They're interviewing either Daryl Davis or someone part of the movement, and they said oftentimes people would join the KKK because they didn't ever meet anyone who was black. So people who formed racist ideals formed those ideals because they've never been able to sit down with someone who was black or even Mexican or Jewish or had any different background than they did. They've only ever met people in their state, in their city, in their country, because, you know, they never travel or whatever, who had the same color skin and therefore the same beliefs. And that's what kind of generates that hatred, that ideal. And they talked about introducing black people to those groups and just talking to them. Like, I think one of them met one at a bar, and he knew he was a KKK member, sits down next to him, is like, hey man, how's it going? And he's like, good. And like, it was awkward at first because he was definitely uncomfortable. You know, he definitely said, it was definitely clear that this man chose to hate a person based on the color of their skin before getting to know them. And then after a few beers, they talked about life and how their day was and what they think and what they believe. And slowly but surely, people started leaving the KKK because they're like, yo, like, I know this guy who is black and like he's just a really nice guy. Like, I drink beers with him after work. Like, maybe I don't hate black people. I just didn't understand who that person was. And it's hard to hate someone that you understand, someone that you know. So I often find it comes down to that issue of like, have you sat down and talked about it? Have you had a platform or a place to speak your mind and let people say what you let people hear what you have to say, even if it is a bad idea, and then let people be like, hey, you're dumb, here's why. Because guess what? That's collecting evidence. That's scientific theory. That's saying, I have this thought, I have this theory, let's put it to the test. Oh, the numbers don't stack up. Oh, everyone else has counterpoints. Oh, well, let's hear each other out and see where we land. If you take two extremes, you will often land in the middle. And I think that's what's happening in cases like that. And people need to be more inclined to say, you know what? It's okay to be a little more towards the middle than this extreme Democrat or this extreme Republican or this extreme whatever.
Ideology.
Exactly. This extreme ideology. It's better to be like, I don't know. Can you show me? Can you teach me? What can you tell me that I don't know? Because if I said I hate Cheetos, and you're like, have you ever tried Cheetos? And I was like, no. I just don't like that they're not uniform like Doritos. They're always triangles, or Lay's or potato chips. They're always those ovals. It's a shape you can count on. And you're like, but Cheetos are like a little like bubbly. They look mutated. And you're like, well, have you ever tried a Cheeto? And I was like, no, I just don't like the way they look. I don't like...
They're gross.
I don't think they'll taste good. Sure, but have you tried it? You've tried Cheetos?
No.
There you go. Try some fucking Cheetos.
Nah.
It's so crazy how it can be boiled down to such a stupid, simple metaphor.
They're different.
And no one tries Cheetos. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's that easy. Do you like Cheetos?
It's actually it's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
You're literally hitting the nail completely on the head.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone that
and it's
says
stupid
they don't
easy.
like something because like when we come to food stuffs, anyone that says they don't like it and have never tried it, don't like it.
Mm-hmm. They looked at it, and they said, I don't want to try it.
It's different. I don't like it. That is racism. Period.
Exactly. That's exactly what racism is. If you at least take the time to put it in your mouth and you're like, it's a texture thing, it's a taste thing, wasn't enough salt, whatever, at least you tried it.
Foodist.
But nobody's ever going to be like, yeah, I talked to one black guy and I stick by what I think. Like, I highly doubt anyone could meet someone and get to know their life story and talk to them man to man, person to person, however you want to look at it, and be like, yeah, I still hate Cheetos. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's such a stupid easy metaphor because it's a stupid easy solution. Like you just gotta try it. And I always say the same thing too. Like, I didn't like 21 Savage when he first came out as a rapper and he came to popularity. And then I listened to an album all the way through and I found a few songs that I like. And I was like, I fuck with these songs. These songs weren't on the radio, but they're really good songs that spoke to me. And that's why I tell everyone, if you want to listen to an artist or a band, like, I'm not a huge fan of Cardi B, but like, if you listen to her whole album, you'll find a song that you like. You'll find a song that you like the most, at the very least, right? You have to at least try. You have to put in a little bit of effort.
Try, exactly. You have to try.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in these schools in Texas, which getting back onto
they're pulling the plug on trying.
The ideology is that they're pulling the plug on trying.
Yep.
They're molding young minds
mm-hmm.
to not want to try.
They're saying we're either right and we don't need to try, or we don't want to have this discussion at all. Either way, that initial pulling away is the problem.
To be fair, it is still up to the teachers or whoever builds a curriculum. It's just not required. They can still teach it if they want. It's just not a requirement, which is still an issue.
But
if
imagine
it's not a requirement and they're teaching it, how long do you think they're going to last?
replace that with any other subject. If it wasn't required to teach math,
But if they didn't have to, yeah, then
No.
no one would learn it.
exactly. You're a math teacher, but no one has to learn math. How do you proceed? Do you
I mean, they still teach history. They're just going to
Sure.
remove that, or at least the option to remove that from.
I'm saying replace it with any other category. If they say we don't need to teach PE, we don't need to teach physical education anymore.
Well, that they're taking a specific thing out of a subject. You can't remove the whole subject.
Okay.
So if you're
what if they say
if
you
you're
have to teach
taking-
math but don't teach subtraction?
If you're taking derivatives out of math, then
Mm-hmm.
you can't really do calculus.
Great. But let's just take something like addition. Let's take addition out of math.
And you can't do it.
So let's take addition, which is what I'm saying, the coming together of people, learning their history and their backgrounds, and saying, be friends. You can't do it because those people don't have the exposure to those people, those stories.
I mean, really, it's already been done with evolution and that being optional to teach people. Mm-hmm. And that hasn't been so much of an issue.
My main point is if you put this in any other model like math or English, like let's say teach English but don't have spelling tests, teach English but don't have essays. Let's just take away one component of anything that you've learned. You realize how big of a component that actually is to learning it.
I don't think it works with the
That's
math
deep.
example.
That's deep. That's
But
deep.
but when you come to history, it's like even bigger, right? Because that's something that happened. That's something you should know about. And
Tangible. It's tangible.
And it's the one thing everyone always says: those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Those who don't learn about racism or the atrocities of the Holocaust or Stalin or world wars, those people are doomed to repeat it. Those people are doomed to be like, you know what? Let's go to war with this country. You know what? Fuck this group of people because they believe something different. Fuck this group of people because they act different or look different. I don't think it's out of line to say, you know what? Tell them that the LGBTQ is a community. Tell them that Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated. Tell them how it has affected the United States. I don't think that's out of line or out of pocket. If you did the same thing with anything, if you said let's remove Into the Wild or Great Gatsby or To Kill a Mockingbird or any of these books from English classes or any if we removed Edgar Allan Poe or who's the big famous one? Shakespeare, that asshole. If you removed any of those works of diction from this class curriculum, people would be in a fit.
I don't think it would change much.
I think it would.
I mean, you could find something else to replace those themes.
So what would you like to replace educating people on slavery and
I'm speaking purely based on the English example you gave. You can replace...
I know, but that's the issue. You can't just hyper focus on this when you know I'm giving you examples around a specific thing. So now I want you to give me a specific example to replace the critical race theory in history.
First of all, I barely know what critical race theory is.
Well, that's
Because
what we're
it's
talking about is they're removing it from the
It's
curriculum.
a body of legal scholarship and an academic movement of civil rights scholars and activists in the United States that seeks to critically examine U.S. law as it interacts with issues of race in the U.S. and to challenge mainstream American liberal approaches to racial justice.
So you didn't know that's what we were talking about, but you had the definition pulled up on your computer already?
That itself of removing the option to teach about the KKK or removing the option to teach about MLK and Native Americans, I know that's a thing. Critical race theory is something I've heard within like the last 3 weeks.
It is just recently come
No
to
fucking idea what it means. And this definition doesn't help me at all.
the effect that racism has had on the United States.
I still barely get it. It's such a new concept to me, but like I know like
But if someone said KKK, you know what that is.
yeah, because
So-
that's been pounded into my head for the past fucking 24 years.
So, do you think kids should wake up one day at the age of 24 and be like, "What's the KKK?" and learn about it at 24?
There is an appropriate time.
What's the appropriate time?
It's not for me to say. No idea.
Not 24 years old.
No,
though.
but you got to because they're deciding.
That's what I'm saying. Is like
school. They're deciding in school what
I'm not
their
gonna-
appropriate time to learn about certain things are.
it might not be
And by
up to you, but you still
certain
have an
things, I
opinion
mean-
on it.
I'm not going to say like a 10-year-old should know, like, hey, here's this group of people. They're all white and they hate blacks. It's not like when you're 10, fucking, you're worrying about other shit, like how to do long division.
But we took division out of the.
It doesn't work with the math example.
It does. It totally does because you're taking one thing away. Imagine learning history and they just ignore one part of history. Imagine being like,
But that still happened
"Hey,
in other
we're gonna
places.
we're gonna sure."
Math is math, same everywhere.
Racism happens everywhere.
Right, but if you don't teach about the KKK, there's other things in other countries that still happen that are very similar.
Okay, but now imagine taking one of those things out. So let's say World War II. Let's just say you don't learn about World War II. You just learn about World War One. Maybe you hear whispers from your mom or dad, or your friends joke about Nazis every now and then. But you're like, what's a Nazi?
I think that's different.
I don't think it is. It's the same thing. As you're still removing a piece of the equation and saying, good luck. You're just not covering something. You're just saying what happened, leaving them to wonder.
So
Which I think could extreme or radicalize their ideas on that subject.
Yes, that's what we're talking about, Ghost Hand. Since I have no fucking idea, what age do you think is appropriate?
If I had a child and they came up to ask me, what is the KKK? I imagine
A domestic terrorist organization.
they'd be around the age of 12. 12 or 13, so middle school. So I'd say in middle school, 7th or 8th grade would be a good time to introduce children, to the ideas of KKK and communism and what's the other one I was going to say? Different ideologies around the world. To say, these people think differently than you, but that's okay. And this is why. Here's why we think they're wrong, and here's what we think you should do. But either way, China is a communist country, Russia's a communist country, Cuba's a communist country, North Korea is a dictatorship, etc., etc. This is just how they live. People are different from you. People are different from us. And we have to learn to exist in a world with them. Because we can't just go bomb everybody.
We could.
It's the last resort. Could we? Sure. But then everyone else would bomb us. And that's not...
We'd figure
If
it out.
you can't find the biggest asshole on the playground, chances are it's you. If you can't find the stupid person, chances are it's you. If you can't see the problem, chances are it's you.
If you can't see the ugly friend in the group,
If you can't see the ugly friend in the group, chances are it's you.
too real. Touched your foot.
Yeah. Seriously.
Keep him at your chair.
But do you know what I'm saying? Like there's very real consequences to that. Because people already don't believe the Holocaust happened. People already believe the earth is flat.
Show me the proof.
The proof is there.
Where?
They're choosing to ignore it.
Where?
So use that as people are having kids who don't believe in the Holocaust or the fact that the earth is spherical, pear-shaped. But
It's a donut.
it's a donut. And then have those people have kids and be like, hey, whatever the school teaches you is wrong.
So do you think we should eliminate homeschooling?
No? I'm saying they should have the choice. You eliminate the choice.
But if you're homeschooled, you can be taught literally anything, as long as you meet certain requirements.
So
It's just like the fucking bare minimum. Does this person know how to do X, Y, Z? Sure.
I think they have the right to homeschool the same right they have to go to a private school or public school. I think that's not inalienable, but certainly a right. You know, if someone wants to raise their kids to be Amish and no cell phone, no computer, and only plow fields and go on Rumspringa, then that's their right. And then at the end of the day, it's like the kid's right to be like, can I leave? Which they do have the right to leave after Rumspringa. Do you want to stay here in Churn Butter, or do you want to go fucking do cocaine in New York? Pick.
And it's actually it is literally like that, by the way.
I know.
That's not even like an off. That's not even like an off like kilter thought process.
But
that actually does happen.
But the only reason I can say that is because I've been introduced to those ideas and those thoughts to where it's accurate enough for you to say that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like someone who's never been exposed to World War II history or the KKK history or history of Nazi Germany, eventually I would say that and they'd be like, what are you talking about? Instead of saying it's not far from the truth. It's not the exact truth, but some people definitely choose to do cocaine and leave the village as opposed to being Amish. Some kids fall in love with Xbox instead of being Amish. People here choose drugs over Xbox. Like, people are people. They're going to have to choose either way. You might as well show them all the options. You're right, at an appropriate age, but I don't think it's an inappropriate age that we show them at already. Like, we didn't learn about... Well, I learned about war because my dad was in the military and he showed me all the movies and video games. But at the same time, like, it's the introduction of the idea. It wasn't like, this is why you need to kill people for the country. It was like, this is why we went to war. Do you believe this? And at the end of the day, I still, as an individual, was able to be like, I think a lot of these things, but I don't agree with that. Because my dad's super Republican. I've never voted a day in my life. So,
nope.
I can at least speak from personal experience that you're not always going to be what your parents are. I know a lot of people say they always follow what your parents are, Republican, Democrat, or just the opposite. It doesn't matter where you become. What matters is that you chose to become that thing. And I think people miss that important step. That the weight is on them. The decision is on them. It's not your parents' influence. It's not what you're told or what everyone else around you believes. It's whether or not you're willing to stand up alone and believe it. That's why Socrates was killed. That's why scientists in the 18th, 17th century were killed. Because they said, the universe doesn't revolve around the earth. The earth revolves around the sun. And everyone said, you're fucking wrong. We're going to kill you. Those guys had fucking balls, man.
So they challenged ideas, right? So do you think we should kill everyone who's saying remove teaching the KKK, challenging ideas?
If you think that's what I'm saying, you are not listening.
I don't think that's what you're saying. But if you're saying kill people who challenge ideas...
I'm not saying kill people who challenge ideas.
I didn't say you were.
You just said,
I said if
you're saying.
I know you're not, but you made two parallels of people who were killed for challenging ideas.
For standing up for what they believe in.
If we kill people who challenged ideas and standing up what they believed in, should we kill the people that are doing that right now?
No. The takeaway from that is that eventually the angry mob of people who look at the one person who stands up and believes in something will eventually one day be like, oh shit, you were right. Socrates, you were right. What the fuck? Why didn't you tell us, Socrates? Oh, yeah, we hung you. Oh,
they getting hung
Galileo. Galileo, you were right. The universe doesn't revolve around Earth. Galileo, why didn't you tell us? Oh, shit. It's just because we were an angry mob. That's what I'm saying is, obviously killing people is not the answer. Is the individual who stands up and goes, you know what? Everyone thinks this one thing, but I know in my heart of hearts, this is the truth, not of opinion, not of belief, but of the universe. It is just
Freshly bathed with the 2-month
hey,
resub.
wow, thanks, man. What's up, freshly bathed? It is the truth of the universe. It is the law of the
That's gonna be good.
universe.
Pussy, just take a
Oh
sip.
my, that scared the shit out of me. That was so loud.
I was late too.
That's what I'm saying is someone who has the power to do that and be themselves and just say, I think you're wrong. I think I'm right. And I'm not saying Socrates was an asshole. I'm saying Socrates was the one person who was like, why do you think God exists? And everyone was like, because he exists and the church says so. I'm going to kill you if you don't shut the fuck up. You're annoying. Being annoying is not a good enough reason to execute somebody. And
I disagree. That's why we kill flies. They're pretty annoying.
a fly is not a person. Yeah.
What?
The
Well,
gadfly.
let's talk about it. No, I'm just
You say
kidding.
you say the gadfly?
What did you say?
I said, is God a fly?
Is God? I don't know. Probably.
I gotta take a piss.
God's whatever you want it to be.
Socrates had a thing about the gadfly. I thought that's what you said. I'll be right back.
I thought you said, is a fly black?
That's racist. I'm just kidding.
Their colors can be black on a fly.
I'm only joking.
But if we kill everybody who challenged ideas and stood up for the different opinion, we get nowhere. I don't think that's a good example. Yes. Did Socrates
Agreed.
challenge ideas? Yes. But he was killed for it. Is what he did beneficial in the long run? Sure. But I don't think it's a good example to use. Because I could twist it, as I just did. We're just in a weird place right now. Weird place, weird time, education. You know, Texas, doing Texas things.
Yeah, but education is the fundamentals, you know?
Yeah. Texas is just doing their thing right now.
What's up?
Texas is just doing their thing right now.
Can I get a Bud Light?
If you want.
I want to keep this going for at least one more beer. I know you got some stuff you still want to talk about.
Oh, definitely.
What's popping?
So the things I have written down are weatherman names. You ever just watch the news?
They're
and
all fake.
I don't think they are.
They're for sure fake.
Why would they be fake?
I'm Stormy Rivers.
Rick
My friend's
Dickert?
name is actually Stormy Weather.
So yeah, stormy weather.
Rick Dickert? That's
I thought just about the weatherman names were just like rainy sunshine. Like
no, like every time I've turned on the news and seen a weather report, they always just have a really out there name. And the one I saw the other day, his name was Rick Dickert.
Do you think it's so unbelievable that maybe on screen they give fake names?
No.
Stage name.
Stage names.
Nah. To report the weather?
Yeah, I think Darth Vader's a real person played by Mark Hamill.
That's a character.
Yeah, so why can't a weatherman be a character?
Because that's a real person.
but it's the news media, something that is designed to entertain.
The news doesn't entertain.
It shouldn't be designed to entertain, but it is.
They give information. And then since we were talking about basketball players are fucking huge. So I was watching the last. Bring it back to the beginning. I was watching the last game.
Frankie Flowers.
Thought it was fake. Probably
It
not.
sounds fake to me.
They just have.
I think it's fake.
They just have weird names.
I think it's fucking fake.
So when I was watching the last game of the NBA Finals, Chris Paul plays for the Suns. He's only 6 foot tall, but he looks really fucking tiny compared to everybody else
Everyone's
out there.
about 6'7",
Yeah, the average is 6'5" or 6'6".
6'5", yeah.
Yeah,
I think.
and 6 foot's good height.
6
That's
foot's
that's
nothing.
real tall in general. Yeah, and that. Have you ever seen a baby with a helmet?
I was a baby
Yes.
with a helmet.
You had a helmet?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, not like a retard helmet, like to help its skull form correctly. Helmet.
Oh, no. You mean headgear?
No, it's a helmet. It's a 3D printed helmet.
Show me.
I'll show you.
Okay.
Baby helmet for skull.
Baby helmet for babies.
No, for skull growth. So basically, as a baby, your bones are jello. These.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
I feel like these didn't exist when we were kids. Or at least I wasn't able to fucking see these at all.
I mean, I've definitely seen babies with
I
them.
feel like I never saw them back in the day. But these help their skull grow normally and not be misshapen.
Is it because it's a cast, or is it because it helps keep it protected?
Just so when it grows, it fills the shape.
That's weird. That's like,
It's like braces for your skull.
well, I think in the 17th century that Chinese women used to tie their feet up with bandages super tight so their feet wouldn't grow big. That's kind of what
That
that's...
was a form of beauty.
Yeah, but that's kind of what the... Could you throw it up on that screen just so they can see what we're talking
The
about?
baby helmet?
Yeah. Because, granted, unless your doctor's like, your baby's head's deformed, it needs this helmet to grow regularly.
These baby helmets. And then the picture I have, this is what it helps turn into, because babies are jello. You don't want to be the fucking Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
But that's what I'm saying. That's just the baby's head shape.
Yeah, but if do you want your kid looking like that for the rest of its life?
Look, man, if you're ugly, don't have babies.
That's not a matter of genetics.
Type of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. You're looking for the treasure. Skull, yeah. Megamind, yeah.
That's not a matter of genetics. That's just fucking babies and how they grow.
Which is based on genetics.
No.
Yeah.
You can literally stick your finger in a baby's head and touch its brain because it's made
Cool.
out of jello. Same thing with chihuahuas. They have a soft
Maybe
spot.
if you have a baby, don't do that and you won't need the fucking helmet.
You'll still need the helmet if it's laying down too much.
How is that helmet gonna fit that fucked up baby's head? You're gonna fuck.
Babies are like clay. It's like braces for babies.
So you're just gonna fucking scoop their head into the helmet and then tighten it? You're gonna harness it down?
If it starts to grow, if you leave your baby on its back all day, have you ever seen people with flat spots on the back of their head?
No, have you?
Yes.
Name two.
Or babies or children that have like really weird dentals because they suck their thumbs too long.
Yeah, your
Really?
teeth get fucked up.
Yep.
I've got perfect teeth, and
So-
I had binkies till I was like 12.
That's different.
Okay.
If you ever encounter someone that has a flat spot on the back, right there, back of their head, that means
Can confirm he has bumpy brain.
I have a rounded head. It means you've spent a lot of time on your back as a kid.
That means you have shitty parents.
Or a really great uncle.
Oh, Oh!
Freshly Bathed says his parents would rotate him in his
That's
sleep.
fucking hilarious.
So they had a round head. His sister did need braces because she would suck her thumb.
That's crazy. I never heard of the sucking thumb for braces thing.
It's the same concept during development stages. If you suck your thumb too long, you end up developing a not even an underbite or an overbite. You end up developing a like a circular curvature to your mouth that is in the form of your actual thumb.
Really? That's really just
Yeah.
the power of a baby's ability to adapt to its environment.
They're fucking made out of clay.
That's what I'm saying, though.
That's not adaption.
So,
clay.
so then if it's not genetic, what are you doing to fuck up your baby's head? Fine. That's not finishing. That's just chug, right? Or
I'm almost out.
is that finishing? Freshly bathed. You goddamn demon.
For me, it's finished. It's like 2.5 Mississippi.
Those two big ones.
Yeah, babies with helmets.
Okay, but do they need those helmets because their parents are putting them in an environment that makes their head grow oblong?
It's not necessarily.
Oh yeah, Ghost Dan's a dentist.
Yeah, so he should know about.
You should know about
skeletons and
all the
skulls.
teeth.
It's not necessarily like your parental influence that your skull grows a certain way. It just starts to, and then it's like, hey, we can fix this because you're a baby and you're made out of jello.
Also, Ghost Hand can confirm the top palate is actually technically formed by two bones.
Ghost
So-
Hand, can you confirm?
So
Feels like two.
Yeah, he can. He can confirm, and so once again, it's this.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. Exactly.
Dope.
So yeah. So basically, what happens is like he said, it becomes an indentation, which actually is more of a better way to explain my like forming concept when you're sucking your thumb, because it doesn't like form it into the form of your thumb, but basically it becomes more so an indentation on your palate and your teeth. And being so young, that becomes like a, you know how people make like, it becomes a mold almost, you know? Mm-hmm. It's a mold, and that's pretty much how it is that concept that you're thinking of, like
Just how the baby's
Yeah.
gonna grow in.
it's gonna grow like that if you do that the same way they wrap their feet to make them smaller because they thought it was a beautification. If you allow your baby to suck their thumb for many years, it becomes not so much a fact that, all right, this is just thumb sucking. No, it becomes a indentation on their mouth, and because of the fact that the way that your upper, not your lower mandible, like, the bottom of your jaw, but the upper palate works, that's just the way that it's forming. And if you allow somebody to do something the same way for many moons, it's gonna stay like that, and it becomes very difficult for you to actually fix something like that after who knows how many years of sucking your thumb.
Gotcha.
Freshly
Like
bathed.
Botan said, they're very malleable when you're young because they're soft and they're not
Jello.
You didn't drink your milk. It's not Jello.
You
but
need
they're very
some
malleable.
milk.
That's why I say clay.
Think of it like Think of it like steel that's been heated up. It's not
Molten metal
clay,
or glass.
but it is very malleable.
It's malleable.
Freshly bathed asked a really good question. Is who is the intelligent man off camera?
The intelligent man off camera.
I'd say it's Alec. Alec is a little bit smarter than me. But he says
No, I think they're talking about Plant Daddy, bro.
oh, fuck.
His name is Plant Daddy. He's a longtime friend of the show. And we do this for everyone. We have a Discord if you ever want to call into the show. We're just talking, hanging out. And he's married, so back off.
But he is close to you over in Canada land.
But yeah, he is closer to you than we are. And yeah. He's been on the show a few times. If you ever want to be on the show, you can join the Discord. Hey, there we are. You want to drop a link or something?
Eh.
You don't have to.
I thought I have it done here. I don't.
Oh, we could add it.
First debate. Are you asking between us or with Plant Daddy? Because if it's with us, I'd say Alec. He's smarter than me a little bit.
Which is
How you guys doing? My name is Plant Daddy, aka Raven. If you ever get into the Discord,
Plant Daddy.
I am a longtime viewer now. I do enjoy being on the shows with both Alec and Josh on occasion when I can.
when he wants to talk shit and stomp Josh.
It's happened more to you than me. Relax.
Yeah, no. Due to scheduling issues, I can't always join in on the stream. I'm hoping one day that we can do a joint stream where, you know, I can be on camera with these guys as well. But currently, the way that it sits, we don't have the tech for that quite yet. But yeah, I'd like to join in on these conversations. So are you, freshly bathed rather. If you ever have anything to input and you actually want to have a long-term conversation with the guys, you're more than welcome to join the Discord and actually join in on one of the Discord chats that is actually
Only we hear that. Just so you know.
It's our Discord chat for streaming is actually the live stream channel. It's locked, but at any point in time that you want to join, just let us know. Any one of us can let you in and we can, you know, have that conversation.
Yeah, the good news is basically everyone here has admin capabilities but me.
Because you don't know how to use.
Because I've never took the time to learn Twitch. But everyone's got admin capabilities.
And he's already in.
Hey!
Welcome to the Discord.
Welcome to the Discord.
My dick sword.
Welcome to my dick sore. But yeah, people often drop memes. I know Ghost Hand is a meme enthusiast. He made some pretty baller memes. I actually saved those are all his. Oh, you're not even. You want to throw it up on the screen for him?
He's in the Discord. He can see him.
Okay, but like not when you're scrolling. Anyway.
He can see him on his own.
All right, fine. But
they're there.
The memes are the best.
Clips, memes, and shit.
Yeah, just whatever. There was actually one time Josh and I were off of the podcast and the Discord was still going off, which was pretty cool. That
we got fucking rated off a stream too.
Yeah,
we ended and we got hosted.
Yeah, we should probably throw that back at them at some point.
Well, I don't think they're live.
We don't have to do it right now, obviously, but like Claps chat, he's rated us twice now, and the second time it was like, we're gone, bye, and then the raid happens. It was hilarious.
It's very unfortunate timing.
But yeah. This has been one of the few shows where it's gone a little more than 2 hours. So it happens. It's not a strict schedule. We try to keep it under 3, but we only shoot for about an hour. So if we hit an hour and we're not feeling it or whatever, we usually stop. But
I mean, there's going to be no Monday show because you're going to be out of town.
I'm going to be out of town Monday, but we can resume Wednesday, and then
I have a guest lined up for Wednesday. Someone who's already been here before.
Okay, yeah, that's true. And then Monday, you said, Plant Daddy, if you're available, we can do that discussion on the American Factory. The second, yeah.
So the second of next month, we're actually
2nd of August.
I'll be sure to watch that once or twice and take some notes and have that discussion. Really looking forward to that, by the way. It's like when Josh and I did that philosophical debate or the drunk history. It was like, that was actually a really good one because like...
You never got to finish that.
I never got to finish it, but at the same time, like there's enough people watching to where like shit was always happening. So that was all I could ask for. So I was super stoked about it either way.
And once again, guys, congratulations on hitting affiliate.
Thank you.
It allows for a little bit more...
Thank you, man. It wouldn't be possible without you.
Oh, I appreciate that. It wouldn't be possible without everybody.
True.
That joins in.
It's a community.
Yeah, and I'm gonna shave my head if any one of these 3 get met first. So
yeah, so I get to shave Josh's head live on the stream. If you guys want to see
follower
him.
one's the easier one to get because it's already 10% higher than everything else.
So if you want to share the podcast, that'd be the fastest way. Or if you want to donate $500, which you don't have to, that's a lot of money.
Well, only $420.11.
So if you want to donate $420, be a stoner.
Buy your beer for a while.
Buy your beer for the next year. We'll get Josh's head saved. It's just to kind of get some more attention to the
I want to get rid of my long
to
hair.
the show, and he doesn't want to have the blonde anymore. He wants to go back to having brunette. So we'll see how that goes. There's something going on over there in the Discord. I saw.
It's Freshly Bathed joined
From all
twice.
that bleached hair.
It's double message.
Oh,
Sounds like glass cracking.
Okay, well, I gotta pee, and I feel like we're at the end of the show.
I feel like unless there's anything Plant Daddy wants to add, then I feel like we're just about to wrap it up. A Freshly Bathed. I'm in now.
Yeah, he's in the Discord now.
Yeah, Freshly Bathed. Unless you want to join and keep the conversation going, I think we're just about done. We're about to get some food and call it a day. But we'll leave it to you guys. I still got like a quarter of a beer left, so you could squeeze another 20 minutes out of me if you really tried.
Anything going on in Canada land?
Yeah. Do you guys have a KKK? Like a CCC though? Cool Canadians Club? No blacks allowed?
I did see that on TikTok that somebody messaged full Smirnoff Ice. Well, I'm about to mention something Canadian, so hold on.
I wish you were here earlier, man.
That somebody didn't like the design of like the moose crossing sign. They didn't like the design of the moose, so they sent a letter to Board of Game and Fish or the Canadian government with a redesign, and like 5 years later, they actually adopted the design.
Did they pay the guy
That
for it?
sounds so Canadian, actually, though.
I don't think that they paid her, but they used her design for the moose crossing signs.
Well, then, Ghost Hen, you're definitely going to want to be here on not the next Monday, but the following Monday after that, where me, Josh, and Plant Daddy will be discussing
Documentary.
the documentary about slavery in factories in China, I believe. And then if you want to join in, I'd be happy to have you as well, because Ghost Hand, you are fucking one of the best speakers I've ever had the pleasure of listening to. You're the most well-spoken person I know. Yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying. I hope you do join us and get in the conversation. If you want, I'm gonna go ahead and type. It's called
American Factory. It's on Netflix.
Boom. That is the name of the documentary we're going to be watching and discussing. It's like we have book club.
Except I can't read, so we need a movie club.
Except we're going to movies.
Said hi to my dad. Thanks.
That's what we'll be talking about. And yeah, I'd love to have Ghost Hand and Plant Daddy both on at the same time, because you guys are like two of the most regular viewers. So it'd be fucking awesome if you want to join in. And of course, you guys are both well-spoken and intelligible. And I would love your opinion, and I look forward to that discussion. So, yeah, please join if you're interested.
Yeah, Ghost Hand's been following since March 31st of 2021.
Mm-hmm. And then I think Ghost Hand was here a little bit before Plant Daddy, but Plant Daddy came
in April 19th, 2021.
Yeah, but you guys have been around forever, which is why you guys have the administrative ability before I do.
You have it. That's what
I know. I just don't know how to run it.
March 3rd. Yeah. Freshly Bathed has been around for a while too.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I mean, Freshly Bathed, if you want to join in the conversation, let's just see how many motherfuckers we could throw into this conversation and keep a coherent discussion going. And then we'll kind of dwindle it up or down from there. Because if we can have
the rock, it'd be like an open table.
Yeah, if we could have five people, talking each other's ear off about slavery for a couple hours,
it just needs to be organized. We can't just have everybody talking over each other.
Yeah, we'll definitely, and I think that's kind of the culture we cultivate, where it's like, if someone's got something to say, we listen, but we'll adjust accordingly. But yeah, anyone who wants to join, who's listening, oh a wine. We should drink wine that day and talk about slavery.
Like we're fancy.
Like we're fucking
I
aristocrats.
feel like that's
That makes
adding to the problem.
that makes it a little more racist, right? Like
think
that's
so.
a real problem people are suffering with around the world. But Ghost Hand says Brazil has a bigger slavery problem than China, so had a bigger slavery problem. But yeah, I mean, look, like I said, at the end of the day, the idea is that we spread the conversation and open the forum. So whether you drink wine, beer, vodka, or shoot up heroin, I don't care, as long as you're willing to
Smoke some crack.
Let's not go that far.
Smoke some crack and
whatever you got to do to get off.
Not whatever you got to do.
whatever rocks your socks.
Yeah.
That have holes in them.
Yes.
You just reminded me I need to go buy some more socks.
Amazon.
No, I would never.
He
do
went
that.
to space the other day.
Congrats.
Well, the upper atmosphere.
The Portuguese?
They did start slavery.
Really?
Them and the Spaniards. At least the slave trade. They got the ships.
Well, I think that's as good a place as any.
Goodest.
Good of place.
I agree.
As any.
It's the goodest.
It's the
it is
goodest.
the goodest place.
You
to
know
go.
what?
The
Fuck
goodest
it. It's the
boys.
goodest place to end it. Thank you guys so much for kicking it with us today. We really appreciate all your input. Thank you, of course, to Plant Daddy for hopping on the Discord and chatting with us today and
Portuguese.
and sharing his wisdom and his thoughts and feelings. Always appreciated. And we look forward to the 2nd of next month, which is June, July, August, right?
I like how you had to count that. Yeah.
June, July, August. For the discussion of the American Factory,
The movie.
the movie. We're having book club, boys.
The movie,
It's
the
fucking
documentary.
happening. We're fucking doing the fucking movie documentary review recap. But anyone who's wanted to join the Discord and the conversation, you're more than welcome to. And I'll let Josh close us out.
Those grandfather stories they're either really good or really bad
Oh, always the best.
based on like whatever they're talking about.
We'll just drink some beer and swap grandpa stories.
Because I had a World War II great grandpa, and
Damn.
he would always just zone out when he told his stories. Like he would get so into it and be like, you could like walk away and he wouldn't notice that you're gone.
Oh my God. We were pinned down.
I mean, he was also like 97, so it's besides the point.
Jesus.
Not a lot going on up there. Thanks guys for showing up. Thanks guys for being here. Thank you, Plant Daddy, for lending us your time and telling me how I'm wrong about robots.
Of course,
Stomping on 'em.
absolutely.
Hey, we got to share the stompings.
Definitely.
Grandpas are always somewhat racist.
Always. Even in Canada.
Yeah.
Like, apparently racism's hot there too.
Racism worldwide. There won't be a show Monday. Alec's out of town. I might do something just myself. If you have notifications on, you'll get it if I go live. If I don't, it's no big deal.
Or follow the Instagram and Twitter for live updates.
Yeah, if I choose to post. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Bye.